Don't be taken in by people that are charismatic and friendly and chatty with you, that sound empathetic. It's all part of the scam. And under no circumstances should you ever give any personal information out, including your date of birth, a social security number, a passport number, a driver's license number, anything. We're trained to believe that. Most people in customer service are very amicable, they're accommodating, they want to help you, they're very charming. The more awareness is built, and that is where the fight is, that is where the victory is. And if it looks too good to be true, it definitely is. How I see how senior citizens especially can be a target, because they're amongst our most vulnerable in population, and it's senior citizens as a whole. But I would say this has happened to my mother, where she was called and was asked to give money, and she was asked to give her date of birth and some important information. So I would have to say that there's definite ways that you could avoid the scam to make sure that you're well protected, and don't be taken in by people that are charismatic and friendly and chatty with you, that sound empathetic. It's all part of the scam. And if they want something from you and they're calling you, it's always something that you can think about, no matter how urgent they seem to try to convince you that their need from you is. There's always time to say, let me take your number, I will call you back. I have to reach out to my daughter, my son, my friend, my brother, my sister. I don't have any authority anyway at this time to make any kind of decision, but I will take your number. We will circle back with you. And under no circumstances should you ever give any personal information out, including your date of birth, a social security number, a passport number, a driver's license number, anything. Even if they say to you, or they come off giving you information that is true, that it does belong to you, because they might have gotten your information, such as a credit card number or the last 4 digits of your bank account number, through the dark web. But they need additional information to get into those accounts. And if you give it to them right there over the phone, you can encounter a lot of trouble. So don't be vigilant, and absolutely be vigilant, and don't give out any of that personal information, and give it some pause and say, I could always call you back. What is the name of your agency, and what is your phone number? Well, it's very difficult to detect whether it is a scam call, but most people in customer service, we're trained to believe that. Most people in customer service are very amicable, they're accommodating, they want to help you, they're very charming. So we're used to that. We're used to being recognizing that type of person. But when that person is running a scam, they're using those very same characteristics to in order to get information from you. And so it's very important. Just don't give that information out. You don't have to. You don't have to help somebody out. You don't have to answer their call of urgency. They can make it very urgent to you that something bad will happen to you if you don't act right this second. That's one thing that you could recognize. If it's that urgent, you never need to act right this second, unless you're sitting in a hospital and have to give authorization for a surgery or something like that. That's emergent. But anything calling for your personal information, threatening an arrest, threatening something bad's going to happen to you. It's never that urgent, ever, under any circumstance. There's always time to pause and to take um, a take a moment and say, gee, let me get your number and your name. I'll circle right back with you. It will be very helpful because they will use their voice, their platform, in order to spread awareness and spread the messaging and to remind. It serves as a reminder, and it's a reminder to us all. There is no stigma. Everybody is subject to a scam. The smartest, wisest people in the world can be subject to a scam and be fooled. Everybody gets fooled. It happens to us. It's part of the human, the human journey. It does happen. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. So it's always helpful to share and participate in that awareness, that message that's being sent when someone's trying to share their platform and give you a very important public service announcement as to how to protect yourself. They're not asking for your personal information. They're just asking to share the information with you as to how to protect yourself. And they would never ask for your personal information. So this is very helpful. And one by one, if everybody or one person stops, the more impact that it has, the more people that give pause to it, the more people that are mindful of all the different scams and ways that they can be taken advantage of. The more awareness is built, and that is where the fight is. That is where the victory is. Absolutely. Knowledge is power. That is the old saying, right? The old adage, knowledge is power. So this is knowledge. That's all it is. Just sharing knowledge so that you have power and you can take power and control over your own life. That's all we want. Even as we're aging, we always want to be able to have our own autonomy in decision making. So don't let anybody trick you out of that and take that power away from you, because essentially that's what they're doing when they take advantage of you and try to charm you right out of your personal information or into some sort of scam. They're taking away your autonomy and your valuable resources that you need for yourself. So spreading the awareness is very important, because it keeps that power and autonomy and agency. It helps you maintain your agency, and that's all we all want as human beings, is our own agency to make our decisions and to live happily and peacefully. We don't know who they are, right? You always think that there's going to be someone that's very ugly and dark and scary, and a monster somewhere in a dark room with fire and all sorts of nefarious things going on. But many times that's not it. Strangers come in many shapes, sizes, forms, colors, and they reveal themselves in many different ways, in many different formats. So just remember, they have agents, and many times the agents don't realize that they're scamming as well. So they'll hire people to do work for them, and they don't realize that they're working in and participating in a great criminal enterprise. That's what it is a great criminal enterprise. And they could sound the sweetest, they could be the most charming, they could look the most innocent, and they might even remind you of somebody that's in your own family or circle of friends, and that is part of the scam. So just that's what I would say, is never ever give up your agency by giving up your personal information. Well, how students can prevent themselves, and that's a very unique situation, because students are generally younger and they have these great wide beautiful dreams, vast dreams of hope and possibility, and the world is theirs. And they answer a call or they answer an ad, and they get routed to a, what looks like a very beautiful website, perhaps, and they get lured in, and they're lured in many different ways. Maybe it's an offer that just seems a little too good to be true, not so extraordinarily that it would deter them from inquiring further, but something that's even just a little too good to be true. And I would say, if you're in another country and you're in your early 20s and you're being offered jobs that uh, promise pay of 12,000 a month, 12,000 US dollars a month, do the conversion and figure out what that is, and recognize, do the research, and you'll see that there's many Americans, many people within that country that don't earn that income. And the question is, why would you be offered that income if you don't have the qualifications or the background or the standing? I mean, that would be a little too good to be true. You should always think about that, especially when you're traveling to foreign lands, and America included. You have to be very careful, and think about that, and recognize it's healthy. It's okay to want all these big dreams and big possibilities, but you have to really take a step back and think about all that it is involved. And if it looks too good to be true, it definitely is. Yeah, I think the philosophy needs to be worked on a little bit and developed, maybe flexed, and worked out, because when people are so-called brought to justice, that is, arrests made, what the arrests are for people participating in the certain scam or the certain criminal enterprise. It's a criminal enterprise. Let's call it what it is. It's beyond, it's a scam, yes, but it's a criminal enterprise as well. And they're participating knowingly or unknowingly, but they may not know exactly who they're working for. They might not even know the individual. They might not have met the individual, and the proverbial buck stops there. It doesn't go behind that. So it allows these enterprises to thrive and to continue to stay alive, because you get rid of this class of people who have been taken to justice, and you usher in the new class. And that's always the way it is through history. Before the internet, uh, people that were running criminal enterprises, let's say, for example, I had experience in juvenile justice, and a lot of juveniles were arrested 30, 40 years ago for stealing cars, and they were working for thugs and criminals that were sending them out. They were under the age of 18, because that when they're caught by the police, well, they're going to go to juvenile justice. They're going to go to juvenile jail, and they get out by the time they're 18. So they take advantage they prey upon vulnerable populations, such as the youth that is under the age of 18 in this example. Same with gambling rings, and people that have cognitive impairments or disabilities. They've been taken advantage of. And so it's the drum continues to beat. It's just in a different format, from uh, from the days before internet, and to the days after, where predators can really hide behind the internet, and they could hide behind a lot of programs to never reveal themselves. So to circle back to the response, is that justice departments, agencies, policing authorities, they really need to get beyond that to the next person, higher up. And the system really is in need of an overhaul on this level, because you can't just get rid of one class to usher in a new class. It doesn't help that the it gets perpetuated and it lives on. Yes, 911 is always the best helpline. Is always the best, aside from calling family member and or a friend, a neighbor, somebody you trust. But 911 is always the best. Um, there's many organizations that exist in the form of, like this organization,
Help before scam.
the Help Before Scam. Uh, they're good. There's all sorts of 1-800 numbers for, and let's say, anti-trafficking. But it's really, I would even suggest maybe even calling Adult Protective Services in your county. That's really important. Is if you could call Adult Protective Services and let them know about the scam and who called you. There's one in every county, Adult Protective Services, but you should call 911. You could call also your bank too. You should check with your bank. You could always speak with your bank. Banks give many public service announcement messages about being scammed as well. So you could always call your bank too and say, I think somebody tried to call me and scam me. Can you check my accounts, make sure that they're okay? And you will get help that way.